So Nova and I have been playing Hearthstone all day, getting used to this brand new meta that, well, seems to be a little bit polarizing. And, well, Nova, how do you feel about the new Hearthstone meta? Yeah, I don't know if she's a big fan. Let's get into the news.
Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, and welcome to This Week in Hearthstone, the 53rd edition of our weekly news recap series where we take a look at all the news and events in the past week in the Hearthstone world. And well, we've have a pretty contentious meta, so our top story we'll talk about today are people quitting over this current meta. Are people actually starting to leave Hearthstone? There's a lot of discontent, and we'll talk about it, as well as a response from Iksar. We'll also go over Grandmaster results for the week, over the Americas, EU, and APAC regions, as well as the mailbag segment where I answer your questions. So our big top story this week is basically this: are people actually quitting over Hearthstone? I've seen more comments than ever on my videos, on Reddit, on Twitter, of players just feeling outright abandoned, feeling left out, feeling like this game is not for them anymore. I've even said it myself that Hearthstone doesn't feel like Hearthstone right now, and players that like to play slower decks or their older decks in Wild just can't. Particularly because of Warlock. Quest Seed Warlock is just out of control in that regard. Its win rate isn't spectacular in standard, but it's mainly because it's polarizing the meta, and by doing that you're like forcing aggro to beat it, and control is basically non-existent. And in Wild, Warlock not only is the best deck, but it completely eliminates like 99% of strategies. So I tweeted this I believe yesterday evening. Now more than ever, I've seen a huge problem in the disconnect between Hearthstone's direction and what its veteran player base wants. A ton of players feel alienated and left out, that they can't play their style of decks anymore, and it worries me that we might see people quit, because it's a genuine concern I have. I don't want people to quit the game. I love Hearthstone. I want it to succeed, and I feel like a lot of, from what you guys tell me in particular every day, a lot of people don't even want to play Hearthstone. I'm talking about Legends of Runeterra, Magic, all this stuff all the time now, more than ever. And Iksar saw this tweet and he responded. He responded to it because I think they recognize it might be an issue as well. Iksar said this to me: been doing some research on how we can better track down a real answer here. I've heard more comments about best meta ever and worst meta ever during this expansion than I'm used to. Engagement among active players is tracking really well this expansion. Things like play session, daily active ranked players, etc. What we're missing is an influx of new players, but the second and third expansions of the year generally struggle there. So Iksar himself, he's looking at the data. They have the data. Like, all I can go off is based on what you guys are saying and all that. And what he's saying right now is, in terms of like the actual metrics that they see in client, you know, with the players, that it's what they're used to. However, he's seeing the same thing I am. He's seeing people just absolutely hating the meta more than ever, and also loving the meta more than ever. There's a lot of people that really like this style of gameplay, fast games, insanely crazy decks, because I don't think many people can deny the decks are absolutely nuts. The first couple days was pretty, crazy, trying all this new stuff, but a lot of it's just the same old stuff, but it's crazy now. Like, think about the things you can do in the game right now. It's so over the top, whether it's killing your opponent with fatigue on turn 5. Like, the things you can do are crazy, but it's really hard to like actually, get a metric, an idea of like, are people gonna walk in? I think it's too early to say potentially if this expansion is going to make people quit, because, well, it's only been like a couple of weeks. I don't know how much your metrics can really analyze this. Like, veteran players are going to keep, coming back and trying. They're not just going to walk away, but every day it feels like more and more people are feeling this way. And my tweet got like so many responses. I think like 50 responses. There was a Reddit thread about it, one rare Reddit thread where I wasn't completely bashed, so that was pretty crazy, and a lot of good comments. Zach from Vicious Syndicate here said, what you're seeing is that people care. They care enough to love or hate things about the game. During Barons, I felt apathy that often pushed me away from playing, even though the game was balanced, diverse, or whatever. So what Zach is saying is Barons was a lot more balanced, a lot more fair, but people didn't care. People weren't caring because it was just kind of dull. Like, it wasn't exciting. It was like Control Priest and a lot of, arena-ish type of mid-range decks. And he's seeing a lot more, people just being passionate one way or the other, love or hate it, they're being passionate. And I think one tweet, I'll try and find it, basically that surmised things really well in my opinion, is that the decks are really fun to play for a lot of people, but they're even worse to face or just terrible to face. So when you're playing and you're winning, it can be enjoyable, but the losses feel even worse than before. And it is like I've been saying, this is such a polarized, I've never seen, like, I've seen polarized metas before, but I've never seen such a polarized reaction to a meta before. And I honestly don't have the answers. Like, as you see, Iksar doesn't have the answers. Nobody has the answer right now as to what the solution to this problem, if there is one, is. I personally would love to see, control and slower strategies come back, because that's what I fell in love with Hearthstone. I mean, I love combo decks, but I like combo decks to be slower. I don't like them to be winning on turns 5, 6, and 7. And they dialed it back with like OTK but we're still seeing it with like Questline Warlock and things like that. So I feel like we'll get more balance patches. We'll talk about that in a video or two. Alec Dawson even commented on it that it's likely coming, especially with Warlock they're talking about. But yeah, it's just a fascinating topic, and I just love to hear your guys' take on it as well. Are you playing a lot less now? Do you feel like you're on the way out of quitting, or is this just, a weird reaction to a really weird and crazy meta? Next, we have the Grandmaster results, week number 2, and we'll take a look at the results, starting with the Asia Pacific region, where the final 4 had Surrender versus Possessi and Ultuemu versus Trazon, and Possessi won the week, winning top points for the week, so congratulations to him. On EU, we saw some familiar faces yet again, with Gabby. The kid just doesn't stop being in the top 4, with Bunny Hopper, Yorma, and Frenetic. Gabby did comment he basically got no sleep, had his second vaccination, was out of it, so he had a lot of excuses, and well, he didn't win this week, and I don't think he really needs an excuse at all. It's ridiculous how well he's performed. And yeah, so Gabby did not win this week, but on EU, the winner was Frenetic, taking home week number 2 on EU. And then on the Americas region, we saw final 4 of Fled and Nalgidan and Kills Luna versus Monsanto, with the winner of week number 2 being the Canadian Monsanto, taking home the week 2 throne. And I believe next week is Masters Tour. I could be wrong about that, but I think next week is Masters Tour, where we might have some new GMs crowned and all of that. So we'll keep you guys posted on those results next week. And lastly, we have the mailbag segment where I answer your questions. Again, if you have a question for me, leave a comment in the comment below with mailbag in the comment. And Adam asks, what are your thoughts on the XP granting achievements this expansion? There seems to be a lot less RNG achievements, only a couple require winning a game, and then I depend on your opponent doing weird things to help you out. I thought it was like a step forward and 2 step back. I would like to say I did the achievement guide and all that. The achievements were, they were a lot more grindy. I didn't like that they took out the fun, build around created crazy scenario ones. What I did like is they basically took out the ones where it requires your opponent to do something. I feel like there could be a better balance between the two, because I just feel like grinding achievements isn't the most fun thing in the world. I'm fine with maybe 3/4 of them being that way, but I like the ones where you have to do something specific, a crazy condition, and I like to see a bit more of that, some harder ones. But I do like the fact that you don't have to rely on your opponent to have 5 secrets up and steal them, that type of thing. So it's a mixed bag for me. I just found the variety of them to be a lot less fun, at least for me. Next, the Big Dog asks, given how much you love Arena, have you consider making any Arena guide videos for us who struggle in the format? I might consider uploading Arena gameplay starting next month. I do have that Zeddy Extra channel, which I still haven't uploaded to. Next month, I feel like I'm going to take a week or 2 off and try and set everything up, set up my office, because I need to revamp everything. And that might be when I finally get that channel launched, and then I would start talking maybe Arena. But right now, if you're looking for Arena content, I'd recommend Redbeard or Judge. I believe they both upload on YouTube, and they're both great guys, as well as Colst. There's probably others. There's a lot of great Arena content creators out there. But yeah, I would like to at least start uploading Arena gameplay at some point, which might be able to help out, but that wouldn't be until September at the earliest. Soldier asks about the AMA's recap every Friday. So we started doing those. I answered that last week, but why not try to make a collab with Regis or even some more creators about the topic? something like the Wild podcast Get Me Out does. If you're not aware, Get Me Out is a podcast thing called State of the Wild. They do it every Sunday. It's him, Corbett, and Raffle. I basically do a solo podcast every single video we do, almost, when we're talking about topics. And I've talked to Regis about maybe doing a monthly one, but I just don't see the point. We talk about the issues every single day almost on this channel, unless we're doing like a top 10 list. And I just feel like I do This Week in Hearthstone. I just don't know how much more I could really recap, right? Like, I could get another person's opinion. That could be fun, maybe. I just don't know. Like, and people are busy. It's hard to schedule. I just haven't really put too much thought into that. But yeah, I talked to Regis about that way back in the day. But we're both busy guys, and we both talk about these topics regularly when stuff comes up. Marcus asked, after the Frodan playing on the toilet line, I'm curious, do you play mobile at all while on the move while you're on the toilet? No. I did, though, when I used to work at my accounting firm. I would play in the bathroom, in my bathroom breaks. I couldn't help it. I want to play Hearthstone, so in my bathroom breaks at my accounting gig, I would play some Hearthstone, a quick like Tavern Brawl or something, and that's about as far as I'll go with that. And the last question is from Danielle. I've seen you wore a Star Wars shirt in one of your last videos. How much of a fan of the saga are you? Do you play any Star Wars video games? What are your favorites? What's your favorite trilogy between prequel, original, sequel? In particular, did you like any one sequel made by Disney? I'll just answer this quickly. I only really like the original trilogy. The prequels didn't do it for me. I liked episode 7 because it was like a remake of A New Hope, but then episode 8, I hated it, and then I haven't seen episode 9. And I wrote fan fiction back in the day. I loved Star Wars so much back in the day, but it was all the original stuff, the original trilogy. I read like the books and stuff that they released, like Luke's Jedi Academy and all that stuff. And I've played plenty of Star Wars games like Rogue Squadron, Shadow of the Empire, like on the N64. But yeah, I'm not super into Star Wars as much anymore. I just feel like they kind of, I don't know, it's not what it used to be for me, what I loved. I did like The Mandalorian. Mandalorian was really cool, but yeah, that's about as far as I'll go. Like, I just really don't care for Disney's direction, other than Mandalorian's pretty badass. So there you have it. I don't have Nova at the end of the week. She's just upset. She doesn't want to even see Hearthstone. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.